Welcome to part 2. I apologize for my video yesterday. I'm still recovering from a cold, and there was a lot of slip-ups in some of the things I said. My brain was not fully functional. Today what I'm going to do is, yesterday I showed you how to get your server set up with some settings that I recommend. Today, and I showed you some of the places on the island that were pretty cool that I really liked. What I'm going to show you now is Ragnarok. Now, I am on my rented server. I do apologize. It is hosted in Europe. The guy that rents it for us, he's in Europe, and he says, I'm tired of lag. It's my turn. I'm paying for this server to not have to lag. So, my videos do lag sometimes, but hopefully we're going to be okay. But I'm going to show you a little bit around Ragnarok and tell you why I don't think it's a great beginner spot. And share some of my experiences with you. This is my home on Ragnarok at the moment. Right next to me here, next to my Giga. Is he trough feeding? Yeah. Is my newest addition to my home. It's the meat boat. So it looks like it's unfinished. And this is actually how I wanted it. I wanted it big and open like this. This is actually my #1 spot that I would recommend. Let me make sure I have a GPS in my inventory. There we go. On Ragnarok, the location is, let me hit the map, 65.9, 16.9, roundabout. This is a fantastic island. It is a herbivore island. There is nothing dangerous that spawns on this island, and it is glorious. I share the island with one other person. She took half the island, I took the other half, and there's tons and tons and tons of room. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take a look at this island from the sky. I'm gonna take my fast wyvern since I'm on my home server. I have the luxury of a wyvern. You can see I was actually going to clean it up. I still haven't moved since we bred for our boss arena. I've got my Allosaurus pen. Over here is the frog lily pad and the otter breeding house. I've got my friend's place over here. And those red Rexes, those aren't alphas, those are a mutation. Gorgeous mutation from our Rex breeding program for the boss fight. She's got a little stall over here for her veggie eaters and a few of her other dinos. And this pool, when we moved in, we thought, oh my god, this is a perfect place to store our water dinos. And you can see over here, let me just fly on over. There's another circle just like it. And we thought, that's got to be the entrance. It's not. Maybe they originally intended it to be, but it's not. You can't get to that pool from the outside, so it's just a really cool looking pool. There's oil down there. There's obsidian, but that's about it. But this island is a pain in the butt to get to. Early on, you would have to use a raft. And you would have to use some raft transport to get around. I use a Quetzal because I am definitely at, the end game level of a nice transport Quetzal. You can see him down there looking kind of weird. I don't know why he's standing funny, but he's got, a platform set up for me to transport dinos. And, yeah, so the main thing I really like about this island is if I need meat for my critters, I can take my Giga and walk around and just sort of munch on all these little animals over here and on the island and get tons and tons of meat to feed everybody. But look at this metal. This is a lot of metal on this island alone. So I load up my platform. I put all 4 of my Ankies on it. For those of you who are new to the game, that's That's these guys. I'm going to be doing a review of dinos and their uses, like super useful dinos later, but I load up my metal gatherers, basically, and I hit metal there. There's more metal behind it, metal here, and I clean up. There's also obsidian all over the island. So, two big resources that you need when you get into endgame, readily available on this island, and all I have to do is walk out my back door. So, highly recommend that. This island is also an excellent place to build. It too is only herbivores. It's got a cool little feature here, built-in garden. These are not veggies, they are berries. There's a spot on Ragnarok where you can actually get veggies, but this is a nice spot. Up here there's something really cool. This little temple. There are stairs leading down in there. There's metal all throughout, and it leads out to the back end to the water. No artifacts or anything like that in there. Just a cool building. Be a nice place to live. Sort of like a pre-made home. Very, very safe. So this is sort of my recommendation, and again, this is on your map. This one is at, get closer, 57 and 20, we'll say, roundabout. So this is in the newer area that they opened up recently. Now we're going to go ahead and head up to the Viking Bay area. Actually, I'm going to show you one more spot before I go there, because this is where my buddy is living. And this one's a little bit harder to get to. You're not going to be able to just walk into Ragnarok and be like, boom, I'm here. You know, you'd have to either build a raft and sail all the way down here, come up on shore somewhere near the swamp, which is dangerous, or take a very long walk. But he built up on this ridge here, and this is a large... Olympius is too fast. There we go. Come on, girl. Large, flat area where he built a giant home. You can see it's still loading in because it is so huge. But he never has animals come all the way up here. Never once has anything walked up his path all the way. Now, his pathway does on occasion get animals, but he's got a well right here for water. The only problem with that is his well does not work with a cooking pot, so he cannot use a cooking pot, or excuse me, a industrial cooker. So that is a major problem for him. But this pathway is nice and clear. And now down in here, you will get all kinds of nasty crap. His brother lives just over here, and he gets all kinds of nasty crap, but it's not a bad area. He says it's very high in resources. There's obsidian located close by. There's metal located close by. And he loves this spot. So, and not too far away, if you get yourself eventually a flyer, there's what's called the Metal Cave, or what we call the Metal Cave, right in here. Ugh. Again, Olympius. She has way too much speed. He set it up with an industrial forge right down at the cave for people to use. You can see tons of metal and obsidian, which makes crafting a lot easier once you get into the higher level items. So, very nice spot. So, that's actually not really a good spot because my friend gets all kinds of terrible things falling down the hill. It's a beautiful spot, but not a good spot. So, let's go ahead and check out a couple more spots on Ragnarok. Now, I'm going to talk to you about this spot here. So, one of the Rexes that was supposed to be purged fell off. So, my buddy started building here in this cave. It's going to be hard to see the cave. See, my wyvern is just... Ugh. Too fast. You're too fast, girl. See, my buddy always claims that if you just dismount, they'll land right where they are. No, they won't. They'll fly in circles. There's this beautiful cave here, and when my buddy joined, we were like, yeah, let's just block it off for you. Seemed like a great idea. Very cool, very flat area. Doesn't look too dark when you're looking in. When you're actually inside of it, it is pitch black in there. It is no good for building. I don't recommend it, honestly. Where I do actually recommend instead is up here, where we built our Rex breeding pen. This area up here is nice and flat. There's ramps down to this area here, down to the cave. You could use the cave for dino storage if you wanted to. That's probably the only thing I would use it for. But right up here where this big holding pen is a lot of nice area that's easy to block off and very flat. And this area up here, super duper flat. I haven't seen anything too nasty over here on this side where I'm walking. It seems to stay pretty calm. I've done quite a bit of harvesting over in that direction before. This direction, not so much. This direction, you can get all kinds of terrible stuff. Alpha Raptors, Micro Raptors, which are a pain in the butt. Rexes, you name it. Terror birds. So you definitely have to block this area off. But for the most part, this spot stays pretty safe. And you can just put little gates. Keep your area nice and safe. It is kind of a pain in the butt to run water. You can see a little bit in the distance that I ran water all the way down into that cave. And I definitely had to use cheat fly in order to lay those pipes, but I got it done. So, coming in here, this is one of the places a lot of people start. This is a nice flat area. Over here, this barn is not bad. Just the person that set this up made a huge mistake. She did not put a fence up here, and she kept getting animals falling in there, that pen. Somebody else took it over after she left, and she kept having animals die a horrible death. But if you can control that a bit, it's a nice spot. So it's something to think about. You just got to be really careful with it. Let's see. Buddy of mine built up here. This is a nice spot, however, it has no way to walk up land animals. So what he did instead was he came over here, because he gets nothing nasty that spawns up there. He came over here, there was these two natural entrances to a cave. There was nothing really in the cave. But he put, I think these are both, no, I think one's a dino gate and the other's a behemoth gate. He closed it off. It's a circular, or half circle. And it was big enough to store his Giga that's dead, unfortunately. Spinos, Rexes, all kinds of stuff in there. So his land animals can stay in there. And then up here he's got his home. And he's got water, and he's got all kinds of great things. But definitely, if you decide to build up here, you have to have a flyer first. So this is not like you're start the game and start building. This is my old house. I don't recommend it. I like it, but Yeah, it's not flat. That was my biggest problem. I couldn't really... Oh my. Well then. Someone left all their dinos. I gave somebody else this place. Somebody left all the dinos on neutral. Not my problem. I know, that's bad. But, they were warned! Tired of fixing people's dinos. But yeah, it's above the dungeon. There were lots of places where the game just wouldn't let me build. Beautiful area, though. Liked it, but just not great. So yeah. Over in here, I don't know if you could really build anything. But this is a nice area too, because there's so many pearls. Maybe over here it's flat, but I don't know. I'm just going to keep on going, and I'm going to talk about, before I go any further, why I don't like Ragnarok as a starting map. I love Ragnarok, don't get me wrong. If you have some experience, start it. Well, let me tell you a story about the night we started Ragnarok. So it was just shortly after the map came out. We had already been playing for a month on the island after many of us had come back from a long absence from the game. You know, we all had some levels in us, and had a lot of experience over the years playing this game. So we restarted our server, we took our characters with us, took some of our items and our dinos with us, and when we got to Ragnarok, we all picked the same spawn point, Viking Bay 1. And some of us spawned right about here, right in this area, all choosing Viking Bay 1, which is still, this is an okay area, but this area is more dangerous than the hardest starting spot on the island. It's okay at the moment, but you've got tons of Ichthyornis, you've got tons of raptors that spawn here. Sometimes there's an alpha raptor, sometimes there's rexes. It can be just a bloody mess on any given day. I mean, basically the Ichthyornis just make it terrible. Trust me on that one. Hang on one second, I have to cough here. Apologize, still getting over my cold. But, yeah, so it's sort of the better end of the spectrum. So that one house I just showed you on the beach where I said she forgot to close in that stuff, that was actually the first house that was built on the server, was that house. So that's about where one person started, and the rest of us started Viking Bay 1. See, I'm passing the lava. We started choosing the same starting position over in here. Someone started here, and you can see there's Megalanias here. They have super rabies that will kill you very quickly. When they spawned in, a Megalania was fighting a Bronto, and that killed 2 of them almost instantly. I spawned in a little further down. Let's see. I spawned in somewhere about here, and I came running up this hill, and it's not bad at the moment, but I look over here and I see a pack of Allosaurus. For those of you that aren't familiar with the game, Allosaurus are like a step down from T-Rexes in damage, but they travel in packs of 3, and the pack leader has a nasty bleed. So it's not something that you want to run into while you're naked and starting out the game. So I went, oh crap, and I started running another direction, like up this way, and I come up over this hill, and no, was it? I don't know. Maybe it was over the other hill, but I see a okay, I call them gigas, but I think it's pronounced properly Giganotosaur or something to that effect. And for those of you that are new to the game, they're larger than T-Rexes, and in the wild, a T-Rex maybe has a bite of, on our server at least, of like 123, and a Giganotosaur has a bite of 830 with a bleed. So it's the last thing you want to see. It's the top carnivore on the game, you know. So I started running, and it started to be nighttime. So I ended up right here at this little bed. And you can see what I had to do to survive. There's barely any resources around here. I somehow managed to gather just enough resources to make 2 campfires, and I was standing in the middle of them. And everybody else that was over on the side of the island, there were 6 of us, they started dying off one by one, and I was looking through my inventory to see if I had enough stuff to make a bed, and I didn't. So I was, you know, warming up. I had a little bit of food on me, eating berries, and, you know, I would run up, grab a few things, and I'd come back down and manage to get the bed up, but not in time to save anybody because everybody had died. Finally, somebody respawned, and they respawned close to me. And we managed to, in the morning, make it up the hill. And I started building here. But there were barely any resources. You can see we were doing okay during the day. There was carrots here at least, so we had lots of food. Of course, there were also horses, so she ran off taming horses. And I was trying to get everything together to try to make us a shelter. This is as far as I got before nightfall. And then we both started dying, and I had to make a run for it, a mad dash for it, because I was down to like 15 health. And I saw just over here, over the hill, up this way, there was a green beacon. And I knew if I could get to that beacon, I could survive. And I managed to get my fur armor out of the green beacon that I had uploaded, and my Quetzal. And I picked her up, and we got the hell out of there, and we never came back. But it's... the temperature differences on this map are so significant. I have what people call low fortitude on this map, and I have 40 fortitude. It's just insanely cold. Let me show you. This is another hazard too of this area for starting. I can't tell you how many people have accidentally ridden over this, even though you warn them about it, and lost their flyer. Yep. Hi, wyverns. How's it going? But yeah, no, I mean, the temperature difference is insane. You'll hold down your H button that shows you where you are, and you'll go into places called Murder Snow. And then you'll go into another place, and it's called Murder Snow. I'm not even kidding. Let's see. Let's see. Murder Snow. See? Look at that. Look how fast my health is dropping. And the temperature is just insane. Insane on this map. It is really, really not a good place for beginners because, I mean, like our buddy, he had been playing on the island, so he wasn't a noob, but he came and played with us every once in a while. And he was just dying left and right, and we didn't understand what was going on. And come to find out, he'd done like fortitude like he did for the island, and he couldn't survive. So, you have to have lots of fortitude, and you have to have lots and lots of good fur gear to keep you warm. And yeah, we'll talk about that in the next video, about engrams and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, so this map, hazardous to your health. Don't come to this server unless you're an experienced player and you're ready to die a lot. There are some really awesome things there. You saw the wyverns. You see my wyvern that I'm flying. that's not the only thing. I'm flying back to my house now. I'll show you the other cool things you can get on this server. I mean, there's so many different animals that are only available on Scorched Earth on here. The Phoenix is not available yet on here because there's no superheats. I do have one. I got it on Scorched Earth and brought it over. But you see, there he is, my rock golem in the distance. I was able to tame him here. So, I mean, you got some really awesome stuff here, but that you can only get here or on, you know, Scorched Earth. Hi there, pal. Yeah. It's not worth it for your first time. But anyway, I'm going to end this video here, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to get everything set up, and I'm going to do another video either later today or tomorrow that's going to talk about how to get started. I'm going to speed things up because, trust me, the gathering in this game is super slow. So I'm going to load in with boxes full of the materials we need, and we're going to get started building a shelter. We're going to talk about things you need to look for and how you can go from a thatch house to something like what I've got with an industrial forge, chemistry stations, all the good stuff, and what all that means, because I'm probably listing off terms you may have no clue what that means. So, we'll talk about all that soon. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and you have a great day. Bye-bye now. Video didn't end. Hey! Hi! Okay, now bye.